Good morning. We're in an i20N.
Keep your foot in it.
It's completely frosted up. Gonna go for a bit of a drive, but first I'm gonna defrost the car and get out of London. We stopped off. I'm about to get on some windy roads and whatnot and give it a bit of the boost. I was driving down the road earlier and I was like, this is pretty cold. I had a little look around, couldn't find any buttons, and was like, I wonder if this car has heated steering wheel, and it does, but the button is down here. A little juicy bit of extra on a cold morning. It's always nice. Gonna get back on the road, do a bit of driving. And I would say refinement on the motorway it's okay. It's a bit loud. It's small hatch, hot hatch. What do you expect, really? I'm driving in N mode right now. Things you pick up straight away. It's a very firm ride in this car. You're not getting a luxury ride experience. It feels stiff and the damping is quite aggressive. It does make quite a fun noise. Tell you what, a cold, frosty winter's morning, well actually afternoon, is an interesting time. There's not a lot of grip today, which actually means 200 horsepower is drops it by the right man. I think if I GTS today, this would be really seriously quite interesting. Right, that's actually where I wanted to stop. I'm going to turn around, give you a little bit of chat. Maybe drive for a little bit first. It's just, you can feel the car scrabbling. For traction. Oh, here we go. He's driving the Hyundai i20N, the little baby hot hatch. I think it looks mega. Now, let's have a little talk about some of my thoughts. First of all, from a walk around, let's just adjust the polarizer. I think it's a great looking little car. It looks aggressive. I imagine a lot of people might lower it. It's pretty slippy. Got my white shoes and some mud, but it's a fun little thing. What have we got specs-wise? 200 horsepower, 1.6 litre turbocharged engine, 4-cylinder. Have a little look in the boot. What have we got in here? Coat or something. Reasonable amount of space. And then under here, because there's no spare wheel, there's actually quite a lot of space under there. So not too bad. You can get quite a lot of stuff in there. Very apt for this sort of size of car, and because it's only front wheel drive, you don't lose a bit of space in the back. In the boot, what's it like for me? Pretty good actually. I can sit here. I am 6 foot tall, and the passenger seat is actually further back than my seat. You can see my seat's a bit further forward. I sit really quite close. It's comfy. Yeah, nice place to be. You can see a bit of the front through there. Let's get out. Excuse all of the gear and whatnot in here. So the interior, I really like it actually. There's quite a lot of plastic, but what they've done with the plastic is they've shaped it in a really nice way, and it doesn't feel just like cheap plastic. It's plastic, but really styled, and I think it sort of fits in with all of the stuff quite nicely. The seats are very supportive on the sides. I have been struggling slightly, although when I look at it now, I've actually got quite a weird seating position. Struggled slightly to find a comfortable position. Focus ST, I found it pretty quickly. I'm getting used to it, but it did take a little bit of time. Pop around the other side. Now, here's the steering wheel. This is your N buttons. This one flicks between the standard drive mode, so eco, normal and sport. And this one just puts you in N, sort of N mode, which is all the loud stuff and whatnot. And then if you press it again, there's a custom one, which you can change steering, exhaust, etc., engine mapping, that sort of thing. That's your rev, like auto blip button. You can turn it on and off, which is nice. Got a handbrake. You can pull that. It's kind of amusing. Gear stick works well. There's your heater controls for the steering wheel. Actually, if I get inside and we start press the buttons, this display is really good. CarPlay, etc., etc. And it's actually quite nice. Let's shut that door. Down here, when the car's on, you literally just get the number, the temperature, and that's it. There's no lights down here. And I got in the car in the dark, and it was actually quite refreshing that there just wasn't lights and stuff everywhere. You had the display here, display there, but no lights anywhere else. It'll just sort of let you almost relax a bit in driving in the dark. Anything else in the cabin? We've got automatic wipers, cruise control. It doesn't actually have adaptive cruise control, but it has like a sort of lane holding feature. One of the things you can do is when the car knows that you're coming up to some twisty roads, it can automatically put you in N performance mode, which is kind of fun. So it knows, and then off you go. Suspension. This is where I'm not sure at the moment. Around town, it's rock solid, and I'm not a fan. It needs either some better dampers or just a change. It's just really quite a firm ride. Now, maybe most of the people that are going to buy this car will like that. I don't know. For me, I want it to ride a bit better. And you do actually notice going down the road today, it's freezing cold. And normally I would shoot something like this early in the morning so there's no one around. But today it was -4 this morning. And the idea of driving around roads that could be icy enthusiastically seemed like a bad idea. Now I'm going to take a few photos and get back in the car, go for a bit more of a drive.
It is slippy. Pedals! Great positioning. I'm sitting really close to the steering wheel just to get this sort of the range. This car does 0 to 60, I think it's 6.6, something like that, 6.6, 6.7. So actually what that means is you can keep your foot in it for quite a long time, not going that fast. This is the opposite of it's got loads of performance, but it is quite nice, especially on a road like this where more performance isn't massively usable. Steering, if I'm honest, you don't get tons of feedback through the steering. You've got to be really thinking, like listening with your fingers. At the moment I'm not in the most ramped up of steering settings, so let's try a different one. I think this is heavier. Yeah, let's see if it's heavier, but do I get more feel? I'm not 100% sure. This pedal position though, but rolling up and down a gearbox. So I've got this debate. I've got an E208, and I kind of want to replace it with a little electric car because I quite like. Well, for one, I took this to go and see a friend of mine who's about a 15-minute drive from home, and it was a couple of degrees outside, and the car was not warm, or was just getting warm by the time I got to my mate's house. So all that time up till then, you're just doing like excessive wear on the engine, all that stuff, and if you do lots of short journeys, that does actually work very well with the electric car. However, you do not get the fun element of this, and that's a huge part of it, isn't it? So we'll pull over here.
Right, next little pit stop. enjoying it, getting a smile on my face. And steering, not tons and tons of feel. You can change how heavy it is and lighter, but you don't seem to get, you're not getting that really granular feedback. But the car goes where you want it to go, and traction is quite limited today. I'm really enjoying actually having 200 horsepower, because you can keep your foot in it for a while, and you're not just burning the front tyres the entire time. It's putting a smile on my face. I'm enjoying it. It makes some good noises. When you're in the loudest mode, it goes like pop, 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 and sounds like quite rude, which I think is fun, and it's what these cars are all about. So it's got a reasonable amount of torque all through the range, so you don't feel like you have to rev it. The torque curve, I think, is quite flat, so you get the initial hit, and then it just sort of keeps going. It doesn't ramp up towards the end. So it doesn't necessarily entice you to really rev out the engine. That's quite a turbocharged sort of thing, but the nature of it. Let's get back in the car and do a bit more driving.
What do you do when you get in the car? I'll take my sunglasses off, I don't need them at the moment. Might in a minute. Press the buttons for the pops and the bangs and all of the... Can't get... This is quite a bumpy road, and the car's kind of doing a bit of this action. Let's try and slow down, yeah. I mean, how can I buy it? I don't know. I've got a sports car, so I should buy another EV, and I've got an EV. But something like this, I don't know. I think I would have to do something about the suspension. It feels a bit. It sort of feels a bit sketchy, which is slightly fun. It depends how long you're driving the car for. Now, I'm sure in the dry, this is a different kettle of fish. But the sort of damp cold, I don't know. Oh, let's put those, I think I've been flashing everyone, I've had my lights on. I feel like there's some pumped in noise. I'm not 100% sure whether there is. It sounds a little bit like that. I think like the bottom of this corner. Does let you keep your foot in it and do a little bit of left foot braking. Oh, that's a nice sight. Get that trailing throttle. Boom, 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 boom. Not sure about the engine note. I'm going to pull over in a minute.
A thing I sort of forgot to mention was actually the tech on these cars. It's really good. You've got CarPlay, heated seats, heated steering wheel. I think some of them might be options. And it feels like a nice place to be. It doesn't feel like that next sort of level up. There's not loads of leather everywhere and whatnot. But in terms of the displays, they feel super high quality. They're pretty responsive. And the tech works. You've got a charging port for your phone if you want. You can plug in and do CarPlay. I think it's amazing what the smaller cars give you nowadays versus 10 years ago, 20 years ago and whatnot. The general level has gone up so much, and Hyundai have done a very good job. As a wrap up of the Hyundai i20N, I think the engine is decent. It could probably be tuned a little bit more for revving out, but it's fun to drive. And you know, this is not an expensive exotic car. I think it looks great. The inside is really nice. It's much better than the Fiesta was, and the Fiesta ST you can't even get anymore. So in terms of small hot hatches, there aren't very many that exist anymore. This is one of them. I think it looks good. Ride quality at low speed could be better. When you're going fast, it's not so bad. Steering, not tons of feel. I think that could be a little bit better. You could feel a bit more what the tyres are doing. Instead, you sort of hear and feel through other measures what the tyres are doing. I've not been able to push it super hard. It's wet, cold. I don't want to end up in a ditch, find some ice and come out the wrong way. But I think as a small hot hatch, it's definitely one to consider. I really like the infotainment and all of that. I think it's very, very, very good. And thank you very much, Hyundai, for letting me have a go, and I'll see you in the next video.